are you?
You ready for me to start?
Yes, you can go ahead and get
Let
started.
me take these slippers off. Release my toes.
Hopefully you guys join us this late in the evening. There's a lot of things going on in
Rotate your
Chicago.
phone. You cannot.
There's a lot of things going on here in Chicago, and we want to open a dialogue to talk about them. To hear. Oh, ow, ow, ow! That fell, guys. And there's 3 people watching us. So, how are you guys tonight? And we were having a few technical issues, but guess what? We have some interesting things to talk to you about today. And turn that off, please. Hey, who's there? Okay, guys, so we're going to give ourselves a few minutes to kind of chill out and hang out with you guys. And I think you'll be pretty intrigued by some of the topics that we want to discuss today and in the near future. And the reason why we're doing this, me and my lovely co-host here, Miss Crystal. Say hey, Crystal. Hi. Ebony and Ivory. So we have some very interesting topics to talk about, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear the different perspectives. I mean, I know how I feel. A lot of you guys know me from Facebook, so you know how I feel about a lot of different things. She has the way that she feels. A lot of times the way we think about things are a little bit different from each other. So we want to hear from you guys. We want to find out your perspective on some of the things that's going on, because I'm in my little world here, and of course, you know, I feel how I feel, but I'm very curious to hear about the way people are feeling out there in the world. So hopefully you guys will take an opportunity to join us for some of these discussions now and in the future. And chime in. We're going to be asking you some questions. We want to have this be a little more interactive. We can even bring you on screen to discuss some of the things that of the topic of the day. So since today is Wednesday, we decided to call this our Wine Up Wednesdays, right? Not Wine Down Wednesdays, Wine Up Wednesdays, because, you know, everything's a little bit down in these times. So we want to be up. We want things to be up, right? So
cheers to Wine Up Wednesdays.
Wine Up Wednesdays.
Always take your healthier wine choice at healthierwinechoice.com.
Okay, guys. So this came about because there's so much strife going on right now.
Yeah.
So much going on in the world right now, and it's just a lot. So with the recent, we were talking about the looting, right? And yes. the rioting, or it was more looting than it was rioting.
It was looting,
right?
And we figured that we would look at this as the current culture in Chicago, which is current. It's not permanent. So we know that this too shall pass, as everything else does. So
yes, I agree. It is a current culture right now, and I mean, for me, I think it comes from the having a low standard culture in Black communities. If I can just put it out there, I think it's a low standard that we have, which allows us to act in these ways that we do.
And I feel that it's a low standard that we've been served. I don't think it's a low standard that we have. I think it's a low standard that impoverished people have been served from white supremacy and capitalism. And that is the reason why a lot of the things that are going on currently are taking place. And that's the reason why a lot of the things, as the looting has taken place in the city of Chicago. So that's my stance on it. So we'll be talking about that.
I mean, to a certain extent, I agree. White supremacy has a huge part to play in it, and even capitalism. But I mean, I'm not mad at capitalism, if I can be honest. I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, okay, but Does it have to be so cutthroat? No, it doesn't.
And that's the problem.
Does white supremacy play a huge part in the reasons why a lot of our communities are, for the most part, going to hell in a handbasket? I think there is a white supremacy aspect to it, or not white supremacy, systematic racism. I think there is some validity to that, but I also think that it's time for us to stop making excuses.
That's not an excuse. That's a reality. That's the reality. It's the root
It is
of
a reality, but we all have brains. We all know.
We all don't have brains, and people who come from impoverished environments look at things totally different than those that are the haves. And the programming that the haves do to the have-nots is what makes the have-nots, which are the impoverished people, and we're speaking about the black community, that is what makes them go bananas and yearn after those things and do those things that they've done. It all stems from that. And I like everybody. I have love for everyone, but that is my take on the reality of it. I think that is the root cause of what this has come from, which is redlining, making it so that you see nothing in those communities, just making everything harder for the black race to get ahead, which has created the whole situation that we're in now.
I mean, to a certain extent, I agree. And we all know that this is the case.
We don't all know that.
We do know this. We do know that
there's
no jobs.
Better, right?
We supposedly.
Right.
And that's why I think this culture right now, what's going on is crap, because if you know better, you do better. And we do know better. We do know that racism exists.
You're saying
we do. Yes, we.
The more mature people.
No, not necessarily. I mean, even the people down there looting, they know that they can't get a job, but when they sag their pants and when they wear their hair in dreadlocks, okay.
I know you're not finna get off into the dreadlocks. Oh
yes, I'm getting off into the dreadlocks, because you know what?
Crazy.
Dreadlocks in this day does not mean black pride. In this day and age, dreadlocks means chief keef.
It means that that does not mean
yes,
that.
It does.
It means that you are a warrior. That's what it means. It means that you're coming to your roots. You're coming into feeling yourself.
No. Not when you got Chief Keef acting like he do. Not when you got all these young men and older men out here doing all the same crap.
So for the people that are trying to do the right thing and that like their dreadlocks and wear them from the roots of where they stem from, they have to suffer and cut all of those things out of themselves to once again make white capitalism and the white supremacist world feel comfortable because they control it?
Okay,
I don't understand that.
Here's the reality. We all know racism exists. We all know systematic racism exists. Even those little young punks that go downtown to do their looting or whatever the case may be, they know that racism exists. They know that white supremacy exists. So what do? They play right into it. And this is the part that I think is dumb shit, okay? Because they play right into it.
Okay, so what about when they
dreadlocks, wait a minute, hold on. If you have dreadlocks and you know that the consensus among white people, black people, corporate America, the streets, whatever the case may be, that if you looking like and acting like a Chief Keef, then you pretty much up to no good. Now, you might have some good rap skills, but that ain't gonna get you nowhere. It's definitely not gonna get you a job. So all of these people that's out there, all of them people that's out there doing the looting, talking about, well, they didn't give us a job and white supremacy. No, you already know that exists. So clean your shit. Okay, so if you got these dreadlocks and you know that if you have dreadlocks and you have on a white t-shirt and your pants is hanging under your ass, right?
They're not going to look for a job like
No,
that.
but they carry that mentality into the job with them, into the interview with them. And then they
That's
use
because they're
that
not
as an
prepped.
excuse.
That's because they're not prepped.
Why are they not prepped?
Because no one's educating them.
Why are they? No one is educating them.
No one's
They do have
educating them
parents.
because they're a lot of these young people's parents are on drugs, alcohol, and come from a whole line of abuse themselves. So they're not receiving the education.
So
they're
we
not
just excuse them? That's
No, you don't excuse them, but you have to understand that is where the root of it is from. They come from an environment where they don't see it, and I did not come from that environment. I came
Neither
from
did I.
an environment where I saw boats, the lake,
Absolutely.
the drive, and everything else.
Absolutely.
But I am a single mother. I do have 3 black male children that I'm raising, so I understand the mindset a little bit differently than maybe someone that doesn't have children like yourself, or someone that comes from a 2-parent household where you have the mother and the father rearing the child to understand things. So I'm doing double the work. Okay, that's number 1. And number 2, it all stems from the media programming, things like that, looting that was out there. It wasn't just black people out there looting. It was white people out there looting too.
You mean the first time around?
The second time around also.
I saw none but black.
Well, that's because that's what the media controlled you to be able to see.
Well,
but I
if
saw
they were- if they
a
were
live
recording
video.
the
I
looters-
saw a live video when it was going on at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep because of the pandemic that the Congress and the government has put us under, so I couldn't get any rest. So I looked at this and I'm like, oh my God, geez Louise. And it wasn't just black people out there looting. It was white people that were participating in it as well. So they also take advantage of situations when it's available for them to do so.
Now, on that note, I mean, I do honestly believe that a lot of the looting and the rioting was, what word am I looking for? Provoked by white supremacists. There has been some reports that white supremacists had come down to those different places and agitated looting and agitated rioting. So I definitely believe that has something to do with it. But do we as black people have to participate in it? It's almost like we fall hook, line, and sinker
If that's all
for
you
the
see
crap.
all the time on television is stuff that you can't get your hands on, that isn't in your community. When you go shopping at these environments, you get followed around. When you try to, even when you pull your pants up, my sons have told me that they have been harassed by the police, whether they had their dreads, their braids, or not in their hair. I've fallen into that same whole standard of cut your hair, be clean cut, and I still feel that way. I still do. I just counseled my 25-year-old on that, and he went on a job interview today, and they gave him the job. So you have to be able to play the game. I'm not saying that you don't.
Right.
But
That's
the game
that's
is,
the point right there.
but the game is defined by them, and that's the problem. And if they
the game is not defined by
Okay,
them. Well, no. I agree. The game is defined by them. So we're either going to play the game or we're going to lose in the game.
Well, we're losing.
And right now we're losing
We're
in the game
losing,
because
Rick.
we're not playing the game. And black people are out here still doing the same dumb shit that they've been doing for the past decades. And then they're going to sit up there and talking about, well, I'm not voting. Oh, well, Biden is racist.
Well, I'll say
Trump.
this
No,
much.
he's
Now,
not.
as far as the voting is concerned, I definitely feel that Trump needs to get out of office. I have Republican perspectives of views because I lived in Texas for a while, and most of my family is from Texas, so that's a Republican state. So it's things about the conservative perspective that I like, such as, these may be minor, but I like the keeping your community clean. We don't.
That's not a conservative. That's
It is
a
because-
human thing.
No,
that's not
Diana,
conservative.
that's not true. Down south, they fine you for that stuff. Up north, you just see shit garbage everywhere. In New York, places like that, you see garbage everywhere. Down south,
I don't think
That is-
conservatives
they-
have a lock on cleanliness.
I'm not saying they have a lock on it, but they promote it. That we're liberals here. We have more of a liberal standpoint. They promote more of a conservative point of view. In Texas, if you throw something out your car window, someone behind you will call and get a ticket sent to your address on your mail, a white
Well,
woman.
that's some of the things that we need to be doing here.
That's what I was just saying, that I like some of the conservative perspectives
Right.
of things. I like the understanding of how business practices actually work, but we're not educated on those things. So that's what puts us behind the 8 ball versus they have a father. I worked at the stock exchange. So when I worked at the stock exchange, I worked with the richest people that I've ever met in my life. They would type up checks to go to Vegas to jag off for $65, $75, $100,000 to just go have a good time out of town. Rolexes were Timexes down there. So it's the pennies that we fight for out here is nothing on the dollar compared to what they what they have access to, rather. And what it is the education that they have behind it, and the education has created the network for them. And we don't have access to that, and that's part of the problem. A lot of these
That's
young
not
black
true.
children,
We do have access.
We don't
Just
have
because we
access to
choose not to use the
They don't
access
teach the same
doesn't
things.
mean that we don't
My
have
kids went to
access.
school out in Naperville. The same stuff that they teach in Naperville is not the same shit that they teach in the Chicago public schools here.
I can
My-
believe that.
my
I can
brother's
believe
a
that.
graduate of St.
So what
Ignatius
does that
College
mean?
Prep.
What do you do as a parent if that's the case? How do you teach your children? Because I don't have children.
You expose
so
them.
it literally baffles me today how someone in this day and age can have a teenager, especially a black teenager, that's still out here doing stupid shit. I
Okay.
don't get it.
Well-
like, what are you doing? What are you teaching your children?
Well, the thing
And it has nothing to do with white supremacy. We know white supremacy exists. So you have to work extra hard. Okay? Like
Right.
we know this.
Right, but I'm saying, do you understand that it's all that the root cause of it is the white supremacist mindset, the programming that they put on us to think a certain type of way, that we just don't have the access to the things that they have because they have a lock on it.
Right, that's true. So what do we do? Okay, we know
so what
that.
you do
we
is
can
this
set that little fact to the side and deal with how to overcome that. We can't say, okay, well, they have a lock on everything, so let me just sit back and chill and have low standards. Don't expect your children to ace
But
their
you have to
classes.
understand, a lot of the youth today, right? And I'm dealing with the youth today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the youth today, they come from environments that are very impoverished, some of them, especially the black people that we're talking about right now. Okay, a lot of them come from impoverished environments. Okay, so just hear me out, listen. So therefore their mothers are crack addicts, right? So then their fathers are on drugs, so they're exposing and raising their children, and they're not giving them all of that, but the exposure is what they need access to, which is better education systems inside of their neighborhoods.
Okay, and I get that. So, and that brings me to the point of, remember when Rahm Emanuel closed down all of the schools?
Yeah.
Remember when he did all of the schools? So, exactly to what you're saying, what are we as black people going to do to combat some of these situations? And when Rahm Emanuel closed down all of those schools, I'm like, this isn't new. Rahm Emanuel had planned to close down these schools like for months, maybe even years. It's been in the news. It's been, it's been talked about. And then all of a sudden, when the schools finally closed, we protest. Like, what do you mean? Like, you knew this was going on. If you have school children, you knew that your school was in the line to be closed. What did you do then? Or did you sit back on your laurels and then you waited until they actually decided to close the school, and then when you can't wake up in the morning and send your kid out to school, right? Not take them to school, not make sure that they get to school, but send them to school because the school is in the neighborhood. When that shit was shut down, then the people got out there and started protesting because they couldn't wake up 10 minutes before class started and get their kids off.
Okay, so on that note, I would think that, I mean, it's so deep.
It's so much stuff, guys. It's so much.
It's so deep.
We would like to know we would like to have an idea of what you guys think about some of these topics. Like, I'm Black Power for real. Like, for real, okay? she might not seem to think so. But I'm just a realist. Like, I don't make excuses for the black community. Now, do I believe the black community is behind the 8 ball? Absolutely.
Why are they behind the 8 ball?
We're behind the 8 ball because of systematic racism. But we know this. It's not a secret.
Right.
So what do? We know we have to work.
So
hard.
what they should do is they should put back into the communities centers for children to get mental help and adults. They should put back community centers in the area. They need to make more jobs obvious and present for those communities. They need to make them not look impoverished. That's what they need to do.
But it's not up to them. It's up to us in the community.
When I say, but they control they control a lot. So it is up to us. So
they control it only because we don't step up.
Right. So we need to get the people in the communities need to get educated on politics and vote the right aldermen and the right people into their offices and hold them accountable in their neighborhoods so that they can put the right things there. But those entities need to be placed there, though. Those need to be part of the gentrification, that we're going to place better schools in this environment, that we're going to bring back mental health, that we're going to bring back, all those things need to be placed back inside of the communities to make sure that everyone is doing better. That's what I think.
I agree, but because I'm in the white man's world, like, a lot, right? I can see both sides. I used to be a Republican, and the only reason that I didn't stay a Republican is because when Obama, which I didn't think was going to win, became president, I really, really saw the racism. I really saw what I was doing to degrade my own community. And I'm like, oh my, am I playing into white supremacy because I want to be in the white man's world? And I really had to take a step back.
A lot of us
really
do. A lot of us ignore a lot of the snide comments and stuff that go on in corporate America to make $1. And that's why, me personally, I don't really function too well in those environments, because if you throw a brick at me, I'm going to let you know that I felt what you were doing.
All the white peoples know that if they throw bricks at me, they'll get the bricks thrown back at them.
That's a great thing, and that's what all of us need to stop. All of us need to start participating in combating it when it comes our way, instead of being quiet, ignoring it,
and sweeping it under the rug,
and sweeping it. When I was in Texas,
and signing on to it, because there was a point where I signed on to it. Oh, the welfare peoples. Oh, they lazy. Oh, they don't want to do this, and I fell into that without really delving into the reasons why those were. So once I delved into the reasons why those were, okay, I got it. This is the reason why they're like that. Now, what do we do about it? We can't continue to say, oh, the white man, they holding us down. They holding us down.
I'm going to continue to say it until George Floyd, until Breonna Taylor, until all these other, and those are just the current, until all these crazy murders and all these things stop happening by the police. I just saw a video that T.I. posted where it was these white people that were on the heels of this black man and his daughter. It was like a movie. And they say all the time that we are the only people that don't know that we're at war, because they've been at war with us. And those people, they were on their motorcycles and on their bikes.
I saw that. They were chasing them or something?
Yes, that was the scariest shit in the world. And the reason why they feel comfortable with doing that shit, excuse me, I normally don't talk like this, but whatever. The reason why they feel comfortable with doing that is because they feel that they can get away with it. That's why you have the Karens out there doing all. I've seen white people walk inside of impoverished white communities, and they walk through there with no problem. When I used to go out to Highland Park to visit some of my very wealthy people in those areas, the police would come into those areas. They would have to inform them that we were coming, and they would inform them we were leaving us out. And I didn't realize it until I was on the drive driving back south, and I saw the police follow us off of the expressway. So everything is put for the good of them. And we have to all work together, because there is a lot of people out here that just have been caught up in the mix of all of this. There are good people on every front. So I'm not someone that feels like I'm not like that. You know, I really truly do love everybody. But I definitely think
Some of my best friends are white. What do you
well, I don't say that, but I definitely feel that we need to work together. Everyone needs to be held accountable for the role that they played in this, from their forefathers and everything else.
Yes, I agree.
And maybe
trust me,
part
I
of
do not let
my
my white people's off
and
the
part
hook.
of the reparations could be bringing back centers and things into the community to help build us up, but it has to be something that is handed over from the ones that control the money and everything to make things work for us. Right now, look at Congress. It's plenty of unemployed people. You know, people have lost all of their money from unemployment, and it's all because of them that we're in this pandemic situation. It's all because of them as to why we're so many Congress, which is still controlled by white supremacy. That's just what it is, and that's just the truth.
I mean, I do agree. I do agree that white supremacy rules the world right now, and we're just squirrels.
Now, when
trying
we
to
saw,
get
now
out.
what we did see when all the looting was going on downtown Chicago is how if black people came together and stood together, how we could stand hard and strong. Because if we all band together, it's more of us than them. But we have to get our shit straight with inside of us first. And then for those who want to stand in freedom and make it make sense, we all come together to do that. But we first have to come collectively together as a whole. And that's part of the problem.
I do agree.
Earlier today when we were talking about colorism, all of that shit, needs to get cut out. It all does, because all it does is hinder us as a race. All it does is pit one against the other.
It does. It
Because
really does.
guess what? In this climate especially, if you're black, you're black. And it doesn't matter if you are...
That's very true.
It doesn't matter if you pass the brown paper bag test. I don't know if the white people that might be looking at this know about it, but many of them do. It doesn't matter...
What, the brown paper bag test?
Right. It doesn't matter if you pass it. Not in this climate. It doesn't matter if you
Who knows what the brown paper bag test is? Let us know.
Right, exactly. That's a good thing. And then it doesn't matter if you're light, bright, damn near white. Once they find out that you're black, you're getting coupled in with the rest of the black people.
Very true.
So all
Very
of
true.
it just needs to stop. That's all I'm saying. All of this crap just needs to stop. And it's all called programming. All of this programming needs to stop. And then we could probably figure some shit out. But until then, and me personally, I'm never going to go against my own race. I'm not. I'm never going to get on here and bash and talk about my own people. I'm never going to do that.
I
ever.
mean, I don't know what that means. I wouldn't deliberately or nefariously go after a group or a race of people for no reason. However, I do try to keep it real. And I do know in the black community, there is some issues that we have with progress. Like, there's some things that's going on now.
From white supremacy.
It does stem from white supremacy, but that can no longer be an excuse. We can't use that as an excuse anymore because we know that exists. So since we know white supremacy exists, and you as a black person have to go the extra mile in order to get something done, just know that. Just know that you have to be better. Just know that you have to excel.
And that's
just
sad.
know it is sad, but it's the reality
It's
that
not,
we live in.
it's not sad that you have to do good. It's sad that you know that you have to go the extra mile.
We have
and
to go
prove
the extra
yourself
mile.
to some people
It's just the bottom
that
line.
capitalize off of everything anyway. It's like, why? I'm not doing it. Me personally, I'm not doing it. I'm not
Right,
doing
but
it.
you're not doing it.
I'm
You're
not.
okay. But
I'm not
what
okay.
about all of those people out there
I'm
that
not.
don't have parents,
I'm
that
not-
don't have
not
people
okay.
guiding them, that don't have people in their life that's going to influence them in the right way? What are they going to do?
What they're gonna do?
They need to know that they have to work extra hard in order to just get to a normal place.
I know.
It's the way that it is. It shouldn't be
and
that
you
way,
know what?
but it's the way that it is.
A lot of times when I've run across these hardened individuals because of their circumstances, I always ask them, do you need a hug? Even though I can't give hugs right now.
Right.
Ask them, do you need a hug? And like I said, by me having all boys, all black boys, 25, 19, and 14, I get it. I have dealt with some things with my children, and like I told someone that was visiting me over my house that questioned me about my children, and I politely let him know that I don't discuss my children with people unless you are going to be a permanent fixture in helping and mentor and mold them and shape them. Because other than that, I'm just giving you some information that you're going to run with, and it's not your business. But what I will say is that raising young black men is very, very scary. It's very, very challenging, and it's very, very hard. Because my children have come home and told me how the police just have harassed them for no reason. I've had a family member that told me that the police was trying to get them to give him a gun, turn in a gun to them. And they were getting ready to turn in a gun because they wanted to get this situation away from them so bad. And then they spoke with their mom about it, and their mother was like, you bet not do that. So I don't necessarily unfortunately look at the police from the officer-friendly perspective that we had back in the 80s. And I think we need to get back to that as well, where we feel comfortable with calling the police to aid and assist us with a situation. Because I don't, and I wouldn't do it. I would just deal with my circumstance myself. I would not call them because they're not going to take out the time. I remember one time one of my kids was ripping and running, and I didn't like what they were doing, so I called the police to kind of help me with the situation. And the police officer asked me to let him know my son's dentist in case they have to get his dental records.
What?
Yeah, and I told him, I said, you can go on about your business for the evening, sir. I said, because I'm not going to relate me contacting you to me having to define my son as being dead. Because if you happen to identify my son from the clothing that I'm telling you that he's wearing, I wouldn't expect you to shoot him in the back if he runs away from you guys. Because they already know that these children, especially these minority kids, are not comfortable with dealing with them anyway.
And that's real. And I do get that. And my heart goes out to the community, and especially women like yourself, that's single parents that have these children out here that are trying to deal with life, young black men, young black girls, especially, I mean, girls in this age are having some of the same issues as guys.
You're right.
In this day and age. And it's really becoming a problem. So guys, we're here today because we want to address these issues. Like, things are really going on. There's something going on. With that man that's in the office right now is really bringing to the forefront and to the surface some things that previously have been swept under the rug.
Excuse me, guys.
That have been swept under the rug that now is coming to a head. So, you know, we could talk about this stuff all night. But what we would like to do is, I mean, and it's just us here today. We're just like really down to earth, just trying to have a discussion with people, everyday Americans. So yes, you guys have probably chimed in and said something to us, but it's just us. So we couldn't see that because we're talking to you guys and we're talking to each other. But we want to do this. We want to find out.
Questions online?
They can, but we can't see it.
How do you get to the questions? I've never gone live
I don't know.
before.
Like,
and when I did, it
pull
was
up your phone.
It was a function.
Right.
It was a wardrobe function, like how it was this weekend.
So, guys, this is like literally our first. Go to your Facebook Live. Go to my phone. Go to my page, and you'll see us on there. And you'll be able to see all of the comments.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna check those out. But how's that? That's so cool. We see ourselves.
Here go Hope. I see you, Hope.
Hey, Miss Hope.
Okay, what she say? She said yes, Crystal. We get. This is
turn it down.
said yes.
It's so cool. Guys, you know what? We really thank you for joining us. If there's a topic that you would like to discuss, put it in the chat. It's so much going on in the world right now, and it is upon our hearts, it's upon our mind, it's upon our soul to make a difference for people. Like, what is it that we can do as individuals to make this world a better place? And that's the reason why we're here today. So
the first thing we have to know is, like Michael Jackson said, all you gotta know is they don't really care about us.
They don't care about us.
But they don't care about any of us. Look where we're at right now. The job.
Do we care about us?
But,
though? That's my question.
No, this is serious though. Like,
that's seriously my question.
Unemployment is, I mean, this is personal, but unemployment is completely ran out, okay, for many people. So it's like, you know, we didn't ask for coronavirus to get here. It's like, what are we going to do? Seriously, we are in a state of emergency. We are really in a state of emergency.
And and if the world is in a state of emergency, imagine what the black community is going through.
Right.
It's hell in a handbasket right now. And what are we going to do? I've heard some people talk about what Obama did and what, you know, Biden is going to do. But what I really want to know is, what are we going to do as black people? What did we do to assist Obama and Biden in getting us to the next level? It's not up to white people. It's up to us. It's not because of white supremacy that we haven't completely excelled. Yes, there has something to do with it.
I beg to differ, and we can agree to disagree.
We're going to have this conversation.
I believe that the reason why we have not excelled as a whole and to the capacity that we should have, I believe it all stems back. And listen, I know Danietta has a lot of different people on her line, so don't come for me, people. Because it's not that type of party. I don't mean any of this in any type of ill way. I'm just speaking the real. But it all boils down to capitalism and white supremacy. And we have to do better as a whole race.
Yes.
That's the thing. We have to.
As the human race, we have to do better. But as black people, we need to step it up.
And also, we have to open up our minds to receiving information. I want to address something real quick from someone that posted something on Facebook, and I read it. It was from Cornell West. I wish I had my glasses, but I don't, so I'm going to remember it a little bit off the top of my head. And I believe, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, that the youth today are considering themselves the freedom for justice. And they aren't scared of anything, and they are willing to die for what they think they believe in. And I know a lot of it is what they believe in, but we need to give them something more pure and something more caring and loving to believe in. And that could help erase and take away a lot of this anger that's there. And the anger that's there is well warranted, because everything that's in their face is drugs, sex, money,
this is true,
high affluent things, because it's programming. And when that's all that you see, that's what you're going to desire, and that's what you're going to want. I like butter soft leather. I like expensive stitching that goes with high-end things. I like those things, but I understand to stay in my lane and stay in my place, and it's not that serious to me. But if that's all you see every day, and then when you look outside your home, you don't see anything but dirt, and for some reason it's a lot of animals and stuff inside of these. There's a lot of dogs and cats and shit all over these places. So all you see is dogs and cats and rats. I mean, what else are you going to do?
It is a pretty sad scene.
And if I could say this, the downtown is fabulous. That's an environment that we all love from the city of Chicago. So when they're taking away that highlight from us, you're really hurting everybody. Because we all want, at some point in time, to get fixated and go downtown and live the life and see what it's like, because that's the life. And it doesn't make it right. I'm not saying that any of the looting is right, but everything has a root cause as to why it's happening. And I think when you get to the root of things, that's how you can get to fixing the problem. But anything else is just a little tape that you're putting on top of it. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I do agree.
So,
But I do agree that this last little looting episode was some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, but
And
you
it
know,
was
this is the
people
thing on
taking
that.
an
But on that
opportunity
note, no, but
to
let's
do some bullshit.
This is the thing too. Let me say this though. When that young man got shot, the body cam was turned off on the police, and someone that did the recording, according to what I've seen and heard, the person that was doing the recording, the police took their phone from them. And then with social media, which is programming, they were saying that it was a 15-year-old when it was really a 20-year-old. So once again, the police should have had their body cams on.
They definitely should have
And
had their body cams on.
they should be held accountable because they didn't. Period.
And they should be held accountable.
Explanation point, period, with the
Because they
boomerang on there, whatever that thing is. They should be held accountable for that because the police have gotten away. And these white police officers that don't know anything about policing black culture need to stay up out of our communities because they harass the shit out of us.
I think there is some validity to that. Now, you know, I don't know if that is 100% an issue with it, but there's some validity. There's some validity to that, but I just don't think that it's...
It is an issue with it. And the sad part about it is that, honestly, every time I've been pulled over by the police, the white people let me go. It's the black people that gave me a hard time.
That is very true. Now, that is true because you know what?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. But I think when I don't know, if you act intelligent. Oh, that's just a friend of mine. Hi,
Oh.
Donna.
Hi, Donna.
Miss Sanchez.
Miss Sanchez.
She
Hi,
just
Donna.
got paid from the Susu today. That's what she was telling
Oh,
me.
hey, Donna.
Y'all know about the Susu?
Uh-oh.
Y'all should get up on the Susu.
Okay.
If y'all not up on the Susu, hit me up. Type Susu, S-O-U, in the chat, and I'll tell you about the Susu. Miss Donna Sanchez just got paid.
All right, Donna.
I'm getting paid on the 18th. Y'all can check back with me.
Boom, boom.
Right. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject. But you know what? We thank you guys for joining us today. We had a very lively conversation, and by no means is this the end of the conversation, because this is life. This is our life. This is Chicago life. This is what's going on in the world, and we care. We want to make a difference, and we want to hear from the people on how collectively we can make a difference. Right? We all have differing opinions, and we just need to come together about what is a possible solution to help these young people out here, because they're our future. They're the next generation that is going to carry on. And it saddens me that a lot of the young people in the world today, especially by me not having children, the younger people in the world today, if I'm looking at them, I'm going to be disappointed with what is going to happen to us in the future, because they are not preparing. They are not prepared. The parents are not preparing the children for reality. And our communities are going to hell in a handbasket. And I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Hispanic, Chinese, whatever. Every nationality in the rainbow has and will be affected by these actions. So guys, again, if you have any topics in particular that you would like to have us discuss in the future, we're going to be talking about some of the most important things that are going on in the world today. We're going to be having guests with us that,
and some activists too that can put us on our game and make sure, because you know what, while we're talking about it, we need to walk the walk. We really do. And we need to do some type of, I don't know, we'll figure it out, but we need to be on the ground working with this stuff too. Because if you're just talking about it and you're not putting no action behind it, it means nothing. So we need to do something. But for me, the action first starts in my household with my children. So for me, I converse and I talk to my kids daily. I mentor to them. I tell them what's right and what's wrong. When I see them headed down the wrong path, I make sure that they know that path, what goes along with heading down that path. So I think that, you know, we also need to implement something in our weekly routines, that we're finding something to give back to this. You know, even if it's just, it could be us finding some young children to mentor to. Sitting up, talking to, telling them about. I mean, I have a flavored past. I mean, it's not crazy, but I'm not perfect. So I
Who's
could
perfect?
right. So there's some things that I could educate the youth on. As I said, I'm raising 3 black male children myself, and trust and believe you me, it has not been easy. It has been
I can only imagine.
man, and those who know, they know that this is the real deal right here.
Well, guys, thank you again for joining us for this conversation. It was so much on the forefront of our minds that we just felt like we had to have this conversation publicly with people about some of the things that are going on in the world, because we genuinely want to make a difference for everyone. White people, black people, Hispanic, Chinese, everybody in between. We want to understand where your perspectives are, what is it that you're thinking about, and how we may be able to collectively make a difference. So once again,
and we'll be answering questions and looking at comments.
Yes, especially when we get someone that can actually see what you guys are talking to us about while we're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
So bear with us. We're really, really down to earth. This is just us very organically trying to make things happen and trying to make a difference in the world and trying to open up dialogue and try to hear the different perspectives of different people, because if we do that, then maybe there's a chance for us to make a difference. And my phone's going to die in a minute, so we're going to go. So welcome. This is going to be our Wine Up Wednesdays.
Cheers. I'm gonna give you
I drank all of mine. Yeah, I drank all of mine. Okay,
See,
now
friends who
Wine
share
Up
care.
Wednesdays.
Wine Up Wednesdays, and talk to you guys later.
Peace out, people.